Remember, at the beginning of this chapter, we talked about how we are going to discuss information systems that went outside of the organizations towards suppliers and customers. We already discussed the customer part in the previous sessions, and now we are going to discuss the suppliers part. First, let's take a look at the definition of supply chain. Supply chain is the flow of materials, information, money, and service from raw material suppliers through factories and warehouses to the end customers. Supply chain visibility is crucial in supply chain. It is the ability for all the organizations in a supply chain to access or view relevant data on purchased materials as they move through the supply chain. If you have perfect visibility, you have what it is called supply chain transparency. In general, supply chains have three parts: upstream, internal, and downstream. Upstream is where sourcing or procurement from external suppliers occurs. Internal is where packaging, assembly, or manufacturing takes place. Downstream is where distribution takes place, frequently by external distributors. A supplier may have one or more sub-suppliers. For furniture manufacturers to produce a chair, for example, Tier 3 suppliers produce basic products such as wood. Tier 2 suppliers use these inputs to make the woods into different shapes. And Tier 1 suppliers produce integrated components such as chair arms, chair arm support, chair legs, and so on and so forth. There are typically three flows in the supply chain. Material flow refers to physical products and raw materials that flow along the chain. Information flows consist of data related to demand, shipments, order, returns, and schedules, as well as changes in any of these data. Financial flows include money transfers, payments, credit card information and authorization, payment schedules, e-payments, and credit-related data. Okay, let's move on. In this session, we are going to take a look at how to manage the supply chain. The goal of supply chain management is to improve the way a company finds the raw materials it needs to produce a product or service and deliver it to customers. What do you have to do to manage supply chain? You have to plan, to source materials, in other words, choose suppliers, obtain materials, make product, deliver the product, and handle the returns. It is very important to understand the push model versus the pull model in the supply chain management. The push model is make to stock. That means the production process begins with the forecast, which is simply an educated guess as to customer demand. Then the company produces the amount of products in the forecast and sells or pushes these products to customers. This model is mostly related to mass production. However, one problem in the push model is the forecasts are often incorrect. If the forecast is too high, then the company will have extra products in the inventory and will incur large carrying costs. The pull model is make to order. The production process begins with a customer order. The company produces only what the customers have ordered. This is a process closely aligned with mass customization. The problems along the supply chain arise mainly from two sources. One is uncertainties, and the other is the need to coordinate multiple activities, internal units, and business partners. We'll discuss the two problems in details in the following slides. A major source of supply chain uncertainties is the demand forecast. This is because demand for a product can be influenced by numerous factors such as competition, prices, weather conditions, technological developments, overall economic conditions, and customers' general confidence. One major challenge that managers face in setting accurate inventory levels throughout the supply chain is known as the bullwhip effect. Bullwhip effect refers to erratic shifts in orders up and down the supply chain. Basically, the variables that affect customer demand can become magnified when they are viewed through the eyes of managers at each link in the supply chain. If we take a look at the four figures from left to right, you can see customer sales, retailer orders to wholesaler, wholesaler orders to manufacturer, and manufacturer orders to supplier. You can also see the strange-looking variations in order quantity. What happens here is, it is human nature that you tend to build in inventory to give you a safety net, a little cushion that builds up in supply chain. And you can end up with huge variations in orders as you move back up. There are a variety of solutions to supply chain management. One widely used strategy to minimize inventories is the just-in-time inventory systems. Just-in-time inventory systems deliver the precise number of materials to be assembled into a finished product at precisely the right time. One common approach to improve demand forecasts is to share information along the supply chain. Information sharing can be facilitated by electronic data interchange and extranets, which we'll talk about in the next session. We have a variety of methods for information technology support for supply chain management, including electronic data interchange, extranets, portals, and exchanges. Electronic Data Interchange, or EDI, is a communication standard that enables business partners to electronically exchange routine documents. That is to say, automate your process and make it more efficient by getting rid of paper documents. The figure in the slide compares purchase order fulfillment with and without the EDI. If you take a look at the top part of this figure, you see without EDI, there are a lot of paper documents moving around and there are a lot of people involved in the process. If you look at the bottom part of this figure, you see business process with EDI. Here, you got a lot of people out and you streamline the process without paper documents. It makes the company to get rid of a lot of errors and save time and money. Another information technology that supports supply chain management are extranets. Extranets are internet-based technologies. They link business partners over the internet by providing them access to certain areas of each other's corporate intranets. We also have portals and exchanges that help us with supply chain management. There are two basic types of corporate portals. Procurement portals can be used to automate the business processes involved in purchasing or producing products. Distribution portals can be used to automate the business process involved in selling or distributing products. Okay, let's think about what we have learned in this chapter. We've learned customer relationship management and customer relationship management systems. There are two kinds of customer relationship management systems: operational CRM systems and analytical CRM systems. Operational CRM systems will provide data for the analytical CRM systems. And then we move on to talk about supply chains. We first introduce what is supply chains. We talk about supply chain management, and then we talk about how we can use information technology to support supply chain management.